Welcome, everybody, to the market close for November 6th. Holy banana bread. We're finally past the election. We finally have some stability, and the market can finally start behaving. This is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic. As you guys all know, we had a green day today. A very, very green day. I'm enjoying it. That's for sure. And that pump in the old Bitcoin that we've been talking about for a while looks like it may have got a boost. It looks like it may have got a boost. And why? Of course, no surprise there. We had an election last night, and the results were very good for Bitcoin. Very good for Bitcoin. We'll of course talk a little bit about the election. We'll talk about what's happening in the market. We'll talk a little bit about Tesla. We got a lot going on. Before we do any of that, of course, what we need to do is we actually need to pull up the market and take a gander and see what exactly is going on. All right, let's get this market on up here. Here is our TSX. As you can see, we're well above the blue line. So the blue line is where we began the month. So we want to definitely stay well above this blue line so that we can have ourselves a green month. And we've got a pretty good pump happening here. Things are looking up. So we're actually not up that much. We're up right now 0.95%. But it's looking good on the markets today. The S&P 500, just switch over to them. Come on, there we are. They're at a new all-time high, up at 2.59%. They're doing well. NASDAQ up 2.76%. Dow Jones up 3.60%. Now, if you're into commodities, you're not as happy as those who are into stocks, because take a look at this. We have gold down 3.07, silver down 4.70, oil down 0.22%. But now, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, brand new all-time high, broke it last night during the election. We're up 9.27%. Ethereum up 10.64%. So there is our line from our old all-time high. So we have a new all-time high. Should we move the line? Do you guys want to move the line? Let's move the line. We're moving the line. There we go. Actually, I'm going to drag this over a little bit so we can go further ahead in the future and I don't have to fix it. There's our new all-time high. Maybe before the stream is done, we can break it. It's not that hard to imagine, actually. But one of the things that is interesting, and I know over on the Discord I was talking about this. I was saying once Bitcoin hit 75K, that was going to be a psychological level and we would get a sell-off. And we did. It wasn't a big sell-off, though. We hit 75K on this candle, and then we had our sell-off. Took us all the way back down to 72. But 75K is no longer the big thing. Our next sell-off will probably be at 80K. I think at 80K we'll see another retracement very much like this. So, yeah, it's pretty darn cool. All right. Let's look at the heat maps. Boy, we're not going to have a lot of heat coming from them because they're mostly green. Not entirely, though. Not entirely. But if you take a look in here, we got a lot of green. Look at this. TD is actually up 2.27. Sun Life Financial 2.66. Constellation Software 182. CNR up 3.77%. And you guys love it when I say it. So Alimentation Couche-Tard up 3.33%. Not too shabby. Now we do have losers though. Look at the communication sector. Bell is down 0.5. TELUS is down a full 3%. Rogers is almost down 3%. So I think the only reason Bell isn't down that much is Bell was already down because of that U.S. acquisition they announced. That drove their shares down a little bit. But overall, that acquisition, I think it will be healthy for Bell on the longer term. But we'll get to all of that. Let's take a look at the U.S. A little bit less red on the US. It's mostly green. Look at this. Nvidia up 4.49. Google up 4.15. Microsoft 2.08. Broadcom 3.55. And over here, look at Tesla. 15.01%. It's Elon Musk. You gotta give him some credit. He picked the right horse. I don't think a lot of people thought he picked the right horse at the time, but he went all in with the election with Trump, and I have a feeling if the election had gone the other way, we wouldn't have this jump. But it's looking good. It's definitely looking good for for Tesla. That's for sure. All right. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Let's look at crypto. Crypto once again. Look at this. Look at the green. Bitcoin 9.32, Ethereum 10.56, Solana 12.14%. People were making money on Bitcoin today. Now the big winner, Dogecoin up 14.53%. Oh boy. Yep. So let's there's about 14,000 crypto coins out there that I like to consider, I call them crap coins. But you know what? Let's everybody's winning. Let's go into the losers and find ourselves let's grab this one. I don't know what this here is. Something. So here's a coin. When everybody else is heading to the moon, this coin is digging holes in the back of an old abandoned warehouse with sketchy ground that looks like there may have been radioactive waste stored in it. I mean, it's bad. Look at this. Zero. They're not even worth like a tenth of a penny. They're just not doing good. They're like a hundredth of a penny, if that. I mean, not good. Anyway, I don't know what they do. I don't know anything about them, but they're a crap coin. They're one of those 11,000 that I would highly recommend you don't get involved with. If you want to go outside of the main coins, read the white paper. Find out what the coin does. Make sure that it actually has some kind of function, some kind of utility. Otherwise, you may find your money doing the mole machine thing like this one over here on the Samsung. Oh boy. All right. Well, let's bring back the winners. We'll bring back all the winners. Here they come. You notice? All on that last tab. Bang. Love it. Yeah, there's definitely some things here. And I have a feeling you guys have some big success stories. I want to hear about it. That's what we're going to do during this stream. We're going to talk about, I just want to hear some of the successes that you guys have had with crypto, with stocks, all of that positive stuff today. So anyway, speaking of the chat, let me quickly, might as well. All right, give me 1 second. I'm just pulling myself back to the main. There we go. All right. Up first, we have Vic. In such a green day, both TELUS and BCE managed to drop. Yes, it was not a great day for the communication sector. They all plummeted today. Skiz says, my P&L today right now is negative 0.35. Uh-oh. If today's a green, I'm doing it wrong. Uh-oh. Well, let's hope. We have, we've got another 7 minutes left in the market. I hope, Skiz, that you're going to definitely get back to at least zero, if not anything. Let's see. I've been drinking liberal tears all day, so fair is fair. Oh boy, yes. The election itself overall was very polarizing. So there was either going to be red or blue tears, no matter how it turned out. But this is the thing, and this is how I approach an election. It doesn't matter who I support. Absolutely doesn't. Because I don't care. It's not that I don't care, but when it comes to finance, I don't care. I'm going to say, all right, I will have a plan for candidate A, for candidate B, and maybe one of those plans does a little better than the other. But I will have plans for both contingencies, and that's exactly how I approached it. All right, CG. I'm all the way up. I'm glad I purchased more HYLD while it was down a bit. Nice. Sometimes buying the dip can really pay off, right? Chad says even CNR in the green. Trump 2024 pumping BTC and crypto. Yes. We all knew. Basically we knew. There was no question about it. If Trump won, crypto was going to pump a lot more than if Kamala had won. Actually, Bitcoin was expected to drop about 3% if Kamala had won. So, yeah, those people, the crypto diehards, are celebrating today for sure. All right. And Tesla too, of course. Can't forget about Elon and Dogecoin. I know. And we got JJ in the house. JJ's probably going to pop on sometime after the bell just to say hi to everyone. How's everyone going? I also want to test my guest feature. So we'll see how it works. It could be a disaster. We just don't know. Paul says up the biggest dollar amount on a day ever. Nice. 13.43%. That's not too shabby, Paul. Not too shabby at all. Mary is in the house with a good old-fashioned hi. And you guys know, if Mary's here, I got to have some coffee because you guys are going to be busy taking those 9 likes and putting them into double digits. Come on, guys. Don't be lazy. Hit that button. Oh, that's so good. All right. I don't see that double digits yet, guys. Come on. I know which one of you is not hitting that like button, so I'm talking directly to you. All right. Thank you. There you go. That was not so hard. Perfect. We're up to Paul. Bought more MicroStrategy dip on Monday at 223. I have not even looked at MicroStrategy today. Because today, Wednesday, is actually a very busy day for me. I was just double checking because if I was going to start a tangent, I had to make sure I wasn't going to miss the bell. Wednesdays I get up, I film, and then I edit. So Wednesday is mostly an editing day. So I don't look too much. I look at the active trades I got going. Other than that, that's my Wednesday. So I did not have a chance to look at MicroStrategy, but we will definitely look at let's do it right now. I've got just enough time. All right, let's see here. Bang, back. All right, let's go over here. I believe MicroStrategy is still down towards the bottom here. Here we are. So, look at this. They're up 13%. Nice. Paul, that's awesome. Yeah, here's where they closed. You can see they had a big jump. They came down a bit, but yeah, they're doing fantastic. Of course, as Bitcoin soars, MicroStrategy will be there all of the way. All right. And just give me a second. I'm going to get us back because I want to be on the big screen for the bell. All right. Stan is in the house with a hello all, and we got Kevin Kaz with a good afternoon, gang. Skiz says Elon's a winner in everything he does. He's got, I don't know if it's just skill or if it's just, sometimes it's just, he just lucks into some of the best positions at the same time. But yeah, no, Elon, I never ever count Elon down. Just like I never count Tesla down because he finds a way. He absolutely does. All right. Kevin Cass says, thankful I renounced a few weeks ago. Have a feeling the price to do that will be going up again. Yeah, prices are just, they're crazy today for sure. Mario is a good is in here with a good afternoon. I sold all my HYLD and picked up SJ. Nice. Stella Jones. I do like Stella Jones. Let's see. Skiz's biggest gainer today is GFL. Nice. Let's see. Stella Jones is down 15% today. Interesting. I did not realize that. I do have my eyes on a sort of a similar company. I'm actually thinking of getting into Acadian lumber. Something I'm thinking about. I'm definitely thinking about. Let's see. Did well with HUT this morning. Oh, I bet you did. That's another one that, of course, is going to do well with the price of Bitcoin going to new all-time highs. And we have the bell. Woohoo! There we go. The market. My friends, the market is closed. Whew. All right. Let's see here. Paul says up 4 months of gross pension dollar amount. 9 says glad I kept some BTC. Well, DCA now that Trump won, it should pump. Well, if he does the things that he says he will do, there's 2 things. One, of course, is with the SEC. He said he was going to fire Gensler almost right away as soon as he takes office. So if he does that, it moves a new chairman into the SEC who's more crypto friendly. That would definitely be very good for crypto right across the board. In addition to that, he has hinted that they want to look at possibly adding Bitcoin to the treasury. If both of those, now take them with a grain of salt, because politicians, you got to take everything they say with a grain of salt. But if both of those things were to happen, that would be huge for Bitcoin. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. Redwater says 10. I bet that means you're up 10%. Not shabby. Not too shabby. Chad says, always buy Bitcoin, never sell either. There we go. Vineet is late to the party, but you're still here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Tom says, unfortunately, I am heavy into HPYT, HBIL, and HPYM. They headed even further down today. There's nothing worse than a market that's really, really green and almost everything's going up except for your bags. Your bags are the ones that are not. That's never fun, never fun. I've been there before. Oh, hi, Chad. Vineet says, love the question. How much are you up today? Yes, that's the question. I honestly don't know. I have all of my stuff set up. It's not really calculating daily, but I believe I'm probably about, probably about 12 maybe. Somewhere's in that. But yeah, let's see. Chad says, Newfie steak. Oh boy. Oh, the poor Newfoundlanders. I've never actually been to Newfoundland. That's the only province I have not yet been to. So I definitely have to go there one of these days because I love the Newfies. Love them. 10 pounds maple leaf bologna. Let's see. Did it pump during Trump's first 4? Well, the pump itself, I believe it was right around 9 last night Eastern. That's when we actually broke that 75. So, it was very, very interesting. Bell, yes. I did actually bought another share of Bell today because it was down. I was like, I'm going to get one more in there. I still have long-term confidence on Bell. And the move they've made with this U.S. purchase, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a good move. But here's that thing, right? Until things turn around, it might be down. It might have a bit of a struggle. That's fine. It'll come up. I have to decide if I'm going to hold it long term or not. I don't know, but for now. Oh, the likes. Oh, Redwater, you were number 10. Nice. I understand the 10 now. Chad says Bella Stinker dropped even further today. Yes, it actually went down to 39. That's when I bought it. I think it was it 39.20? I don't know, something like that. But I only bought one more share just to adjust my costs down a little bit. Bleak is in the house with a hey all. Dwenna says, Tom Smith, I feel your pain. 20% for me. Yeah, Bell and Telus both down for sure. All right. Duenis says, yep. Or sorry, I don't know why I said yep. It's BEP, BEP.UN, a good buy today. Let's take a look. I have not looked at BEP today. All right, whoops. I got to click on the right button to bring up the share. All right. All right, let's see here. BEP. There we go. So this, of course, is your Brookfield Renewable Partners. There we go. Let's pull this up. And let's see, 35.19. I want to come back. Let's go to the 6 months on this one. So yeah, so it's been moving a little bit jaggy. I find that with some of the Brookfield ones, you will find this, but on their flagship, like, have you guys been looking at BAM at all lately? Brookfield Asset Management. Holy cow. It's been doing just fantastic. Like, let's just take a look at the last year. There's the last year. That's great all on its own, but look at this. Since about September, they have been, they've gone from 54 to 79. That is just absolutely crazy. I'm like, oh boy. So I am definitely liking what I am seeing with BAM. So definitely good. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. TELUS goes down after the dividend is paid. On ex-dividend day, you will find a big drop. Because basically all of the dividends, whatever that cash amount is for all of their shares, that amount does get subtracted from their market cap. So basically, it then drops their price. Most companies will rebound quickly. That's the whole idea. Like I've had a couple videos on dividend capture strategy, and that's where you're basically playing that a little bit. And you can do it, but you want to make sure that the company you're doing it with is one that rebounds quickly, because you don't want to buy a whole bunch of shares the day before ex-dividend day, and get the dividend, but then be stuck in that for 2 weeks before you finally can get out. Ideally, if you can find a stock that rebounds that same day, those are just fantastic ones that you can certainly play with. But you also want to be careful. You don't want to be doing this in your TFSA just because of that 30-day rule. So just something to keep in mind. Chat says beautiful in Newfoundland. I imagine it is. I've seen pictures. My brother actually lives in Newfoundland. He lives in St. John's. So, and his kids are bona fide 100% Newfies because they were born there. So, I have a place to go. And I also have my tongue is not working today. My best friend from years ago is also living in St. John. So, yeah, I really don't know why I haven't been there yet. I do not know why. Let's see. Redwater TELUS div was last week or more ago. Okay, there we go. I wasn't sure when the TELUS div was. I take your guys' word for it. But, well, heck, we're in here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see. TELUS. All right. Here we go. Here is good old TELUS. So their ex-dividend date was back in September, on September 10th. So I doubt it was that. So that means their next one's probably going to be, December. Yeah, December 10th in that area. So yeah, that probably is not what's happened there. But nonetheless. All right. Let's see here. Maybe it's time I got out. It is hard to hold the communication stocks. They have a lot of debt, but as aggressive as the rate cuts have become, and if we do get that other 50 basis points in December, I do see the telecommunications rebounding. Now that the market too is, now that we've got this stability, I'm so glad that the election is over. So that's kind of cool. All right. I see JJ over there. I don't know how it works, but I think he's in my green room. All right. We'll just give me a second here. We'll get caught up here in a first. We'll make JJ sweat for about a minute. Let's see. TELUS dividend is now 7.4% at current closing prices. How low can it go? It can go quite a way. It can go quite a ways. A lot of these big companies, even when they're down, they usually don't cut their dividends if they have a nice big moat. So I don't think there's a danger of that with TELUS. All right, Jay says, is TF.TO a good buy now or just wait for the big correction? I still like Timber Creek Financial, and I I actually bought another 10 shares while they were down. You know, I'm averaging down a bit, but they are they're a mortgage investment corporation. So they will behave much like a REIT. So I expect to see some good things from them. So I would hold tight with Timber Creek Financial. I'm not worried at all with them. I think I'm in the waiting room. I think you are too. I think you are too. Now, I could bring JJ. Let's try this. Let's try this. Oops. Before I bring JJ over, I have to. I think this is the one here. Yeah, I have to mute this tab because if I don't mute this tab, you guys are going to hear reverberation. All right, and I'm going to. I don't know if I can. I'm going to try. Let's bring him over without actually having a place for him to see what happens. Add left, add right, assign. Okay. As I said, this is going to be fun, guys, because I have no clue how this works. I'm going to go over here. All right, this is my one guest. So I think if I put him in as one guest, I think that will get him. I think that'll bring him up. Holy banana bread, it did. I also have to. Yep, my sound is on. Hi, JJ. How are you?
I don't know. Can you hear me? Like, how is the sound?
I'm not hearing
Exactly.
JJ.
Okay.
Why am I not hearing JJ? My sound is up. My sound is up. I'm not hearing you. Chat. Can you hear JJ?
Can the rest of you hear me? I mean, it seems like my blue
I gotta
bar
wait for the
is
chat because I
going.
do not know if I can't hear you at all.
Oh my, this is gonna be very,
All right,
very.
as I wait for the chat to find out what the heck is going on with you, JJ, I don't know. I can't hear a thing. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna quickly answer this question here.
Oh, I
Vanessa
see
says,
everybody
"Hi
else
everyone. I'm
commenting.
currently
So
trading in my TD TFSA, but $9.99 per trade is a lot. Any advice on trade platforms? I'm
yay,
looking at
that looks
National
great.
Bank. Not sure I can have TFSA there. Other options, welcome. Thanks." National Bank, you can have a TFSA there. You basically have two really good options if you're looking for commission free. One, of course, is National Bank. The other is Wealth Simple. Both of them, you can definitely have a TFSA, and you can transfer. It usually takes probably about 2 weeks once you initiate a transfer to get it over there. If you are looking though to get into Wealth Simple, down below we do have an affiliate code down there. So when you go in, you get $25. The channel gets $25. So that's also another option as well. But either of them are good options for sure. And I did ring the bell. All right. National
Woo.
Bank is great. All right. Can we hear you loud and clear? We hear you
Well, it
both.
seems like
Why am I
everybody
not
else can
hearing
hear
you?
me.
This is kind of weird. I don't know why I cannot hear JJ at all. I actually have all my volumes up. So, oh boy. Oh well. You know what, JJ? All right. If I can't hear you, I'm gonna have to get rid of you for today. But what we'll have to do is we'll have to hook up outside a chat and just do a private one of these so I can get it working. Because I don't know why I can't hear you. Like I don't have nothing. Everything here says that you should be fine, but for whatever reason, you're just not coming through.
That is the funniest thing. I mean, I can
Oh
hear
well, I
you.
don't know. All right, we're gonna try this. We'll try this again another time, folks. All right, let's. I've sent JJ packing. I don't even know if he was saying goodbye or anything like that. All right, let's get back. Let's get back to the main. It's good to know. That's the whole thing. Like we recently changed over from StreamYard to Ecamm Live, and so I'm still working things out. Like I got all the main stuff's working fine. Let's pull me back to let's pull me back here to full stream. And I don't know why. It's something weird that's going on that if I'm not hearing him, but you guys are, it's like, that was definitely weird. All right. 9 is agreeing that TD is a terrible brokerage. Oops, September 30 was the div. Got it confused with BCE. Let's see. I think we sold our Air Canada too soon. Still climbing. I'm happy though. Yeah, I know. Well, Air Canada, I mean, they are going to do well with those rate cuts. And I also did a little more research on Air Canada. So with the share buybacks, they're basically buying back 10% of their outstanding shares. So that's a lot of shares they're buying back. They're going to buy it back between November of this year and November of next year. So they're going to spread it out over a year, this buyback. But that will be good for their price. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. I was looking at it and I was kind of like, man, I kind of wish I stayed in a little bit longer. All right. And I'm going to skip ahead. We certainly did. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, you guys can hear everything. Yeah. All right. He has to be seen but not heard. Yeah, exactly. We could get him to dress up like a mime, and then it would be perfect. Oh well. What about the muted tab? No, the muted tab is basically if I bring somebody on, what ends up happening is the sound then plays through that tab. That's why I muted that one tab. But that shouldn't impact JJ. But like I said, we're not going to troubleshoot this on the air. We'll troubleshoot it off the air. We'll the two of us will hook up and get it worked out. So the next time he comes on the show, you guys will be able to hear him. I don't know what's going on. All right. Oh, sorry. Vic says, except for March 2020, IOK was the most violent positive day. I'll tell you, March 2020, if you had a nice lump sum ready to invest that day, you would have done well. And JJ says, yeah, what about the muted tab? Well, I've had to mute that tab on, at least on StreamYard. Maybe that's the issue. I'm not sure. But as I said, we'll troubleshoot this. Maybe Thursday. If you're available sometime Thursday, JJ, we could always do it then. We could do it then, for sure. Let's see here. Finbar says, call TD and ask them nicely to lower trade rate to $5.95 if you have enough invested. Well, that's still a fair amount. Now, here's another thing. I know I've been kind of very anti-Moo, but they're probably cheaper than TD, and I wouldn't recommend Moo either. So I would definitely say, give it a whirl with either, like I said, either National Bank or Wealthsimple. I do like them both. The big difference is that with Wealthsimple, you're getting that extra $25 for free. National Bank is not going to give you anything for free, unfortunately. I wish they would, because I could certainly sell the banana bread right out of National Bank, but yeah, they're just not going to do that for you. All right, let's take our final look at the market, guys. It is getting close. Oh, I absolutely forgot. And maybe it's too late right now, but if you guys do want a Friday stream, we do have that option available. So 4 supers before this one ends, we'll bring in a Friday stream. I got so excited, right? I got so excited over all of the stuff happening in the market. So it is available. All right, give me a moment here. Let me pull up the right screen here. All right, here we go. All right, let's head back over to the market. We'll leave MicroStrategy and we're going to head right back up here to the TSX. So TSX finished pretty strong. They got back in the green, finishing at, look at this, 1.02% up. Lovely. S&P 500, once again, 2.53% up. NASDAQ, they started to retrace a tiny bit towards the end of the day, but still up 2.74% on the day. The Dow Jones up 3.57%, so not too shabby. And of course, gold down 3%, silver down 4.5%, WTI down just a little, 0.29%. But one of the things that Donald Trump has said is that he plans to drill, baby, drill. So in an environment where we've already got a little bit too much oil in the market, that could suppress the price of oil a little bit further. Of course, it depends. We have too much oil now. he's not going to get into office until January. And even then, it's not like day one he's going to have everybody drilling really fast. So it could certainly take a bit more time. All right. And Bitcoin up. Look at that lovely 9 point. Oh, look at this. Remember we moved our thing during the stream? It did. It broke all the way up to 76. So we did get a breakage of that new all-time high during the stream. It's too bad we weren't watching it, but it did happen. It did happen. That's kind of cool. Let's move our all-time high up again. So we're now up at roughly 76. What is that? 76,485. Roughly there. We'll see. Maybe it'll happen again. I mean, I have a feeling it's going to keep on sort of meandering up a little bit as we head towards 80K. So I almost should have done a poll. Who thinks that we're going to get Bitcoin at 80K before the end of the week? I think I might be in that camp. All right. Ethereum also up 11.05%. Holy banana bread. Look at this wick. That's a crazy wick in here. If you just, I think this probably happened so fast you probably wouldn't have even been able to buy down here. But wow, if you could have bought down here on that wick and rode that right back up, wow, that would have been neat. That's a big, to me, when I see a wick like this, I almost think it might be some kind of a technical error, maybe in the in this software or something. But because it's just crazy for that to have happened. That's weird. Big wick. All right. And let's see. Jill is saying poor JJ. And Chad says $1.95 trade for Moo. Tom says Telus has dropped over 12% in the last year. Would you consider it a buy? I am in there. Right now I think we're at like 12-year lows on not Telus. I was actually thinking of Bell. But Telus I think as well. I think Telus is also, I think all three, to be honest, and I hate Rogers, but even Rogers, I think they're going to go up. They're not going to, though. You're not going to make Air Canada level money off of them. I think they're going to be more of a slow rise, but you've got half decent dividends as you're going up. But Telus is a buy, but not like Air Canada. It's not a make a ton of money fast type buy for sure. All right. Chad says I'd buy VDY instead of Telus. Oh, there we go. Tom says, All right. Still hold Telus, BCE, Enbridge, Royal, TD, Bank, and Nova Scotia, and many great others. Pays monthly dividends too. Yeah, absolutely. You can't outrun or you can't out about corporate governance of Telus. Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that there's no control over with our telecommunication sector is they are at the mercy of the CRTC sometimes. So, last year the CRTC allowed third-party resellers access to much more of their lines and equipment at some half-decent prices, and that hurts them. That hurts them when that happens. So that is something to keep in mind. It does happen. What can I say? Yeah, it's just not great. Let's see. Last time this low was 2020. Yeah, absolutely. And, well, let's pull up. Whoa. All right, let's actually pull up Telus here. Oh, we already have Telus up. Duh. All right, let's take a look here. This is their 3-year. Let's go back to their 5-year. Yeah, so you can sort of see. They hit this level back here at the pandemic. So March 2020. If we go back 10 years, and let's just ignore that, and you look at this price, so the last time they've been down around here was back in 2016. So it's kind of that similar story to Bell. I do think they're a good buy. I think they're going to come back up. I don't think they're coming back up to right now at this point 34. I think that's a long way up for them to come. They will I mean, eventually they'll get back up here, but not anytime soon. I don't think we're going to have like a big ramp up. I think we're going to have more of a slow, kind of a climb similar to this once things gets moving in the right direction. I don't think you're going to see a big I don't know what we call it, a very pointy mountaintop. A skydiver's nightmare is like getting paled on the top of that point. That's for sure. All right. Yeah. And Tom, if you're looking at TELUS as a long time hold, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. That's pretty much what I would recommend it as a long term hold. So that works. Paul says, TELUS early retired all their experienced employees, now all contractors, so customer service not that great. If you have their service, hope nothing breaks. But keep in mind with customer service is probably one of those first jobs that will be replaced by AI. And I think I love that idea, to be honest. I'll tell you why. Half the time I call customer service, I get forwarded to a country with somebody who is trying to speak English, but not super successfully because they have a very, very, very deep accent. And it's hard to get anything done. What I love about AI is when AI starts handling all of the call center jobs and things like that. One, it'll know the rules. So it'll know everything that it actually can do for you. Two, no matter what language you speak, it can speak your language. So if I call, I'll get somebody who I doubt they'll put a maritimer accent on them, but I'll still get somebody I can understand. Whereas if you're let's say you're a new immigrant to Canada or something, or it doesn't matter who you are, anywhere in the world. Let's say you speak. I'm trying to think of a language that might be hard to get somebody to understand, or something a little bit more obscure. I don't know what they speak in Liechtenstein, but let's say you speak Liechtenstein, whatever that language is. It's probably a form of Flemish, I think, but I don't know. But you'll be able to get somebody who can speak your language. And I think that is absolutely fantastic. I know I spent some time in a call center, and sometimes you would get somebody who would call in with a different language, and then you'd be like, oh my God, is there anybody in here who speaks this language? So I'm big on AI doing those jobs. And also, I mean, people like to yell at their customer service agents. So, AI is not going to take offense to it. Or if they do, when AI rises, you might be in trouble if you were yelling at that customer service agent. I don't, just a thought. All right. Let's see here. All right. So what is long-term? 5 to 10 years. Okay. Yeah. I think in 5 to 10 years, you'll be perfectly fine with TELUS. All right. Keep in mind, our PM just slowed. I don't know what that meant. Let's see. Retired and looking at a dividend stream. Immigration, not many new cell subscriptions, but TELUS has TELUS Health. Yeah, they do have TELUS Health. And TELUS Health, I mean, I've used it. I don't anymore. I actually have a family partitioner now, but I have used it when I didn't have one. Paul says, TELUS instead of cash ETF, and worst case, you are waiting a long time for your principal investment. That's the worst case. I mean, there's always, keep in mind, we're looking at what TELUS should do. We could have another black swan event. That changes the rules for everything. So you always have to keep that in mind. Even though all logic says it should be A, something crazy can happen in the world and all of a sudden everything is B. That just one of those things to keep in mind. Let's see. I already have M and Y. Let's see. It would be just a portion to diversify. Yeah, absolutely. And Chad saying VDY gives it all and monthly dividends and good ROI while you wait. I mean, there's nothing wrong with VDY. I mean, let's just take a gander once again. I mean, I do love VDY. I love VDY. I love VFV. Vanguard makes some really good I like to say blue chip because as far as I know, I don't think there's any Vanguard ETFs with covered calls at all. But yeah, I mean, you look and you've got, this is a good one for, of course, your Canadian exposure. So it is definitely a good ETF for sure. VDY, and of course, everyone loves VFV. All right, here is our S&P 500. Now look at that big pump there today. But yeah, and this once again, I mean, these are all uphill movements. So that's, to me, that's not bad at all. So there's a lot of different options out there. And of course, as it feels like I'm going over the video I just released, but I won't do XEQT. Let's do VEQT. We'll just do it. It's pretty much the exact same thing. Other than the big difference between XEQT and VEQT is the dividend. This one here has an annual dividend. So you're only getting your dividend once a year, whereas XEQT, you get your dividend quarterly. So, and once again, pretty big movement to the upside. These are all pretty fantastic for long term, and I do like them. I do like them. Now, those of you, by the way, those of you who are income investors, that video that I just did with the blue chip sort of easy mode investing, I'm going to do a similar one, but it will be on income. That'll be out before the end of the year for sure. I just don't know the exact date. Okay, let's see here. Let's see, VDY is great, but it is close to its 52-week high. Well, of course, it will be. I mean, it is. I mean, the thing is with this one is let's go back. Let's go back 10 years. Well, the heck, I've only got data for this far from 2019, but look, this is what it does. Oh, this is the VEQT. Sorry, let's go to VFV. Let's pull this one up here, and we'll go to 10 years. As you can see, I mean, it's almost, most of its life, it has been at an all-time high, other than, things like this. Here's the pandemic. And then it goes quickly back from the pandemic back to an all-time high, then bear market, and then back to an all-time high, more all-time highs, more all-time highs. So you're always gonna get that. That's just kind of the nature of the way the market goes, because you also have to look at it. Let's say, it's time for the whiteboard. All right, here it is. There needs to be a way for me to absolutely erase all of that. Oh, well, I don't know how, but I can just do that. I didn't know. Now that I know I can do that, we're all good. Give me, here we go, draw. There we go. I'll just use this nice red marker. Let's say you have something that's, oops, come on, give me the marker. All right. Let's say you have a stock, it's $10, and it never changes in price. It's always worth $10. But in a year, right, you have inflation. And let's say if inflation is, I'm just going to use 1% right now because that's just a nice, easy number to do. So 1% of $10, is like what, 10 cents? So that stock is automatically going to go up. So even if a company doesn't change in value, as you keep moving forward, you end up getting more and more valuable. So, the next year, this one is now, what is it, 10.20. And then there's, well, it would actually be 10.20. What is that? I think it's another 01, something like that. But it's going to keep on getting more and more value. And that will, so when you look at it on a chart, you'll have a very, 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 that's in a situation like that. But now keep in mind, in the real world, this here is going up whatever the inflation rate is. So it's going up 2% every year, the value of these companies. So you have people, a lot of people don't take that into consideration. They're looking at, well, why are things always going up? Well, things are always going up no matter what. And you can factor in inflation in there because that also inflates. So when inflation hits, it does inflate the price of stocks as well. So that's kind of one of those things. So sometimes I hear this a lot, I can't buy that because it's at an all-time high. Well, what you can do, and this is the best idea, is probably just dollar cost average. Like if you're really worried because it's at a all-time high, set up a dollar cost average scenario. Like maybe every month you buy a share or you buy 10 shares. And then with this one here, it's pretty expensive. So maybe it's just a single share. But then if you do get, let's say we do fall into a recession or just a correction, you're going to get some at that cheaper price as well. But it will rebound from that. Even if we go into a recession, a recession is basically going to be like this, just maybe a little bit bigger. It might take a little bit longer to fully recover out of it. So coming out of a recession, we may not get a nice big steep climb like this, probably more of a sort of a rolling hill type climb instead of a mountain climb. And you'll still get back there. So when you're long-term investing, so just putting that into perspective, you shouldn't even worry. Like, don't even think about it. It's like, oh, it's at an all-time high, I'm not going to invest. Who cares? Here's an all-time, let's say, and this here is just 5 years ago. Here's an all-time high at 79. But look at where it's at today. For a long-term investor, going from 79 to 146 is absolutely amazing. So just something to keep in mind. All right. that was my tangent. I really went off on that one for sure. All right, where the banana bread is, everyone. There we go. Chad says, my union just switched to TELUS Health for benefits. Nice. Let's see, Tom, that's what my buddy said 2 years ago. And now look at that, 17% later in the green. There we go. Niece is in the house. Hi, Niece. Good to see you. All right. Pizza pays monthly dividends to 0.78 cents per share. Yeah, Pizza. They're at a low. They are, yeah, absolutely. Pizza is down at a low. I do like Pizza. I am adding to them. They're in that category of stores, restaurants, that will start doing a lot better as the rates continue to come down. As we get lower and lower interest rates, people will feel a little bit better about spending, and that's going to help things like, like Pizza, or one of my pet projects is SRV, which is Sir Royalty. I'll show you this one, Sir Royalty, srv.un. Here we go. So this one here is one I do like. They have I think Jack Astor's is one of the stores they hold the royalties for. But let's actually go. We're going to go to the 5 years. This has been a stock that after the pandemic, look at this. They absolutely exploded. Now people are looking at it now and they're like, oh, well, look at this. This is terrible. Yeah, well, look at what preceded it. That's a giant climb. So, and then here is going into, this isn't even going into a bull market. This is going into higher interest rates. So this here, like the bear market was back, let's see here, right about here. This area here is the bear market, and they still did fine. It's just when the interest rates started getting aggressive, that's when they hurt big time. And now that we've got some rate cuts, they had a little bit of a recovery, a little bit, but I do expect to see them recover. They're one of these companies that is not going to recover as fast as REITs. They're going to take their time as we wait for the consumer base to start buying things again, going to Pizza, for example. In this case here, Jack Astor's or Pizza, it's a little bit like, I think Pizza has even a little bit of an advantage over Sir Royalty. And we'll pull this up, and you're going to see a similar story here. Oops, 5 year. So you can see this in here. Once again, in here is the bull, the bear market. So they still continued to go up, but then the aggressive rate hikes pulled them down. They had a little bit of recovery, but they're going to do well. And one advantage that they do have over like Sir Royalty is that people, you don't have to really leave. I guess you don't have to leave your home anymore for Sir Royalty either, for like Jack Astor's and things like that, because you can certainly, Uber Eats and all of that. So, but this will improve. And they have a pretty good dividend as well. See, 7.014% monthly. Even when things were down, they've they've continued to pay it. They've continued to pay it. Same idea with Sir Royalty. Let's go back one more. There we go. Sir Royalty. Theirs is actually higher, 8.976%, and it's also monthly. So I hold both of these, by the way. I hold both of these in that 0 to 100K challenge, so I do like them both. All right. Here we go. No worries, knowledge is power. Sounds like something from like NBC or something. Or maybe knowledge is power. I guess it's kind of reminds me of G.I. Joe, I think. I don't know. Or no, that's knowing is half the battle. Okay. Let's see. We're all here to make money and learn from each other. Yeah, exactly. All right. JJMA says, any advice for me? I feel like if I am buying the high, then the market goes higher. So HDIV, HYLD, VFE. Okay, but what's wrong with that? Because, if you buy something at the high and the market goes higher, that means you've made money. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. It's extra money for you. I do like that. I do like that for sure. Yeah, I would not be concerned. Like if you're buying and it's going higher, that's what you want it to do. So kind of the whole thing, buy low, sell high. But, and look, let's go back once again. Actually, I think VFE was the one just before here. Let's go back to this one more time. We'll go to the 5-year. Hello, where are you, 5-year? Come on, show up. I'll just refresh this page. I don't know why it's not showing up. All right, let's go to the 5-year. All right, we'll go to the 3-year. We'll go to the 1. All right, we'll use the 1. I can use the 1 year. So, all right. So if you bought here high, and now we're sitting here, well, that's no longer high. That's now low in comparison to where we are. So you did buy low, and if you sold up here, you would be selling high. You'd be making a profit. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Hopefully I'm not misinterpreting your question. If I am, just throw it back at me. Throw it right back at me for sure. Let's see. BCE and TELUS is a dividend trap, if you ask me. All right. Redwater, I have a BC telephone that was replaced in our house in 1963. Oh my God, is that one of the ones with like the rotary dial? Holy banana bread. Let's see. DCA into a position, don't go all in. Yeah, DCAing is the way to make the most money. You'll get the fair average, because when you're trying to time the market, it's so easy to completely mess that up. And plus the fact that you don't have that crystal ball, you're kind of just shooting in the dark. Whereas at least with dollar cost averaging, you are technically shooting in the dark, but you're shooting in the dark in a pattern, and that pattern is more than likely going to hit lows and middles, and you're going to hit everywhere. But the average of all of that dollar cost averaging, right, is going to get you that fair price right in the middle. Let's see. 1963, I wasn't even born yet. Yeah, I was not alive either, Chad. We were both specks of space dust, I guess. JJ says, I guess I'm afraid of buying the high and then a market pulls back. Well, you got to look at it this way. So let's come back over here. Let's say you bought the high right here, and then the market did pull back. Let's say you bought it at 126, and not that long afterwards, it's at 121. So here's where it boils down to. It's what do you do? If you're that person that buys it at 126 and all of a sudden the market, it's down at 121 and you're like, oh my God, it keeps falling. I'm losing money. I gotta cut my losses. And you do that. Well, this here, before you cut your losses, this is what was called an unrealized loss, because you did not realize it. But if you cut your losses, you realize it, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there saying, oh, thank God, I got out just in time. But then you look again and you're like, uh-oh, it's going back up, and all of a sudden it's up here at 129. And you're like, oh, no. And so you buy back in. So now not only did you lose money going down, you've now paid more to get back in. And look at this, it starts to fall. And this time you're like, uh-oh, it's starting to fall again. I'm going to get out faster so I don't lose as much. And you do. So you lost a little bit there, and all of a sudden it starts climbing again. And you know what happens? It's this whole cycle of FUD and FOMO. When it's climbing, you get that fear of missing out, and all of a sudden that's what happens. Now, the right way to do it is if you bought back here and it does correct, especially something like the VFV. This is a broad, it's a market index of the S&P 500, right? So it's always going to recover. It always will. There would have to be something major happen. Like maybe if an asteroid hit in the middle of the U.S. and decimated the U.S., maybe then it won't recover. But, outside of a black swan event like that, it's going to recover. So if you buy here and that does happen, you know what? Here's what I do. I buy more. I buy more because then when I am back up here, I got the profit from here up to here. That's a little bit of profit. But I also got the profit from down here up to there, and that's a bit more profit. So it's kind of that whole thing. Like, that's what they call buying the dip. It's still safer, though. Buying the dip is definitely fantastic when you run into those situations. But I would never sit here waiting for a dip. Like, I will not wait for a dip to buy. I will, I will dollar cost average my way in. And then as I'm doing that, if I have extra money and I see a dip happen, I'm jumping in that dip and buying. That's how I handle the dip. So sort of a bit of a hybrid, but for the most part, dollar cost average is going to get you, it's going to get you places. So that's the thing. You have to, when it comes to investing, you really, really have to try to not let your emotions decide. So what you may want to do, if you find you're an emotional person, and you're like, I'm going to panic when I see the market go down. What you may want to do is make sure before you start investing that you have a plan. So, you'll say, okay, if the market retraces, I'm okay because I know that I've looked at the fundamentals. I know this is a good stock or a good ETF. And a lot of times with a lot of people, if they can't get their emotions under control, I will usually say, you know what? Maybe ETFs are a better option for you in that situation because, when things are going wrong here, there's a manager on VFV here. There is a manager. Now, this here is, they come in and rebalance quarterly because this is a very passive managed because they basically just pick the top stocks in the S&P 500. So you're getting a piece of all of them. But with a lot of ETFs, there's always a manager in there at some point. And even if it is a quarterly rebalance, they're going in. And if there is a stock that, absolutely shouldn't be there because it's just underperforming, they can remove them. They can replace them. Now, in this one here, not so much because it is a full overview of the S&P 500. But there are, when you look at the actual index, the S&P 500, there are benchmarks that you have to hit to be a company on that index. And if your company is really failing, that index can actually kick you off. And if they get kicked off of there, they'll get kicked off of here as well when they do their rebalance. So that's where that would sort of come in. All right. Whew. JJ says, look at this double JJ. It's like JJ squared. JJMA, just keep buying. These quality stocks are not meant for swing trading and for long-term holding. Yeah, exactly. And Chad's saying, buy those dips. There we go. Just keep DCAing. That is the best way to go for sure. All right. Good points about DCA. Thanks, everyone. Chad says, no worries. Lots of knowledge in the chat. Absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, it doesn't even have to end at the chat. We got a Discord. We also have a Facebook groups as well. Both of the links are down below, but definitely if you got questions and it's like, oh, I can't wait for Candace to come back on to answer this. Well, head over to the Discord. Get your answer faster. If especially if it's burning a hole in your pocket and you're like, I don't know what to do. Redwater says, I have been buying stocks with 52-week highs for 3 years now. Better to buy stocks that are going up than down. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Chad says when it does red, it's on sale. Just buy more. I think as money as percentage helps take the emotion out of the equation. Yeah, exactly. All right. Chad says it took me a few years to learn that it's scary when you're new to investing. Absolutely. And JP has entered the chat with a good old hi. Absolutely. Guys, let's take a look at Bitcoin again. See if it broke the new all-time high again. Oh, we're on Ethereum. Let's head over to Bitcoin. Whoops. What the heck? Let me just make these up a little smaller. All right, let's pull it over. No, we're still hanging out. So it looks like this is our all-time high for now. But we'll keep our eyes on it. We'll keep our eyes on it and see what happens. Oh, banana bread. Oh, I've been waiting to hear about this. Burgers. What a beautiful day. I'm long Tesla on this temporary rally. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I remember that Burgers was telling us about this long on Tesla earlier in the week, and I was just like, if Trump wins, Burger's going to have a good day for sure. Oh boy, has JP hit the like? I don't know. That's between JP and the like button, right? But JP, if you want to hit that like button, I will take a moment and have a sip of coffee here. Oh God, that's so good. Chad says 2016 Tesla's supposed to be $400 a share. 2026. It might be. I don't know. Somebody actually did just hit the like button, so maybe it was JP. If it was, thank you anyway. Thank you whoever hit the like button. That always rocks. All right, guys, we are coming up towards the end. If you got your last minute questions, those burning ones that just need to be answered, let's get them into the chat. Let's get them absolutely. Well, keep me going, guys. Chad says, Apple phone with pineapple thumbs. Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting. You can, I don't know if you want to do it though, but you can buy like a Bluetooth keyboard that you can sync with your phone. So, so not so much like you wouldn't be using it when you're walking around, but if you're sitting someplace, you could pull it out. I don't know. I personally wouldn't go that route, but or you could get the larger, like the Ultra Pro iPhone that's quite a bit bigger. So that way there, at least your thumbs are, a little bit closer. Larry says, I'll short Tesla when it hits 300 to 310. That's probably not a bad idea, because they'll definitely be due for a serious correction at that point. And you got to keep in mind, right now, all of the hysteria of the election, it's going to wear off, and the markets are going to slow down a little bit. I think we're still going to have, I think we're going to have a lot more sanity, a lot less volatility, but the one exception though may be Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin, we had the halving. We have been due for Bitcoin's final run before it goes into another crypto winter. And that could be interesting. Like I'm still expecting before we go into winter, I'm expecting 120K. That's what I'm expecting. I could be absolutely wrong. I've seen a lot of predictions on the internet, on YouTube, much higher than that. But, I think you got to try to keep it a little bit real, a little bit in perspective. But yeah, I could see 120K happening. Depends on how long this goes out. Like I know, I think the last, I think it was on this week actually, on the weekend show, somebody was asking me about March. Will Bitcoin still be up in March? And it's kind of interesting. What I did say then is I thought that if Kamala got in, it would be a slower ramp up to the Bitcoin high, to the final high before it starts to retrace. But with Trump in, it might be a faster run up, or at least we got through one of the big hurdles. So it's going to be really interesting. It can definitely be interesting for sure. All right. Tesla. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Tesla keeps coming out with new products. Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting. Like I'm kind of really want to see what happens in January. There's been so many promises. I'm going to do this, and RFK is going to do this, and RFK Jr. and Elon's going to do this, and I just want to sort of watch whatever is going to happen. It could be interesting. I'm going to call it that way. It's going to be my curiosity. It might get the better of me yet, but it'll be fun. All right. Chad says, be like shorting Bitcoin. Gonna lose your shirt. All right. Now, Chad, I don't think Chad would ever short Bitcoin or Tesla from the sounds of that. Let's see. Any royalty corp you can recommend for long time holding? I love royalty companies. So of course I have diversified dividend. That's one. So DIV. I do like that one. I am looking to make a video soon on. I know I've touched on like uranium before, but I want to make a nuclear one. So what I like about the whole idea of nuclear investing is that right now that is going to be a huge movement. We've already got a lot of the tech companies getting involved in nuclear, either modular nuclear reactors or nuclear reactors in general, because AI needs that power. AI needs a lot of power, and we're not going to put the AI genie back in the bottle. So I think nuclear is going to be one of those things. So with that being said, one thing you may want to look at is there are uranium royalty stocks out there, and those might be very interesting for sure. So anyway, that's one thing I would look at with a royalty. There's also you can get gold royalties. You can get royalties for a lot of things. One of the things that I do really like about royalties too is that they tend to have lower debt because there's really not a lot of overhead. Most cases, they just own a whole bunch of trademarks, so that the companies using those trademarks are paying them. Like you take Pizza. That is a royalty. They're a royalty company. Like the Pizzas are, they own the name, they own the concept, and all of the restaurants are paying them royalties per se. So that's kind of where a lot of that comes in. All right. Chat says, have the Max Pro. Oh, good. Did you mention that you had a video on options trading? No, I do not have a video on options trading. I know it's been requested. It has been requested, but I haven't done it yet. Red Waters, leave shorting to the insiders. And JP, what is BTC expected to go to when it goes into the next Bitcoin winter? What prices? Well, the last crypto winter, we went down to about, technically 20K was the bottom, but it did wick down at one point to, I believe, 16K. I'm thinking something similar here, but at a higher level. I'm going to say if we get up to 120, Bitcoin winter could probably take us back down around maybe 60, maybe 50, but I don't think we're going to go below that. So I think 50 will end up being like that hard bottom, and I think for the most part, once you get there. So here's the thing. When you see Bitcoin start to do its massive fall after that point, and I will update you guys the best I can. I will tell you the last time. Now, I was actually on the air on a different program. I was over on Friggan's show. He had a late night show. We were there, and we just happened to pull up Bitcoin. We were looking at it, and it just went red candle like crazy. Bang, bang. We just watched it happen live on the air. It was crazy. I was like, oh my God. So you didn't really have that much of a chance to sort of get out, I think, if you were in on it. But yeah, once you'll get to a certain point, you'll have to sort of decide. I mean, there's folks like Chad. Chad will probably ride it out. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you are going to ride it out, what you want to be doing is when it gets down, like say it goes back down to 60K, you want to be buying, because that will then lower, of course, your adjusted cost base, giving you, bigger profits when it does rebound and start to come back up again. Crypto winter you got to remember, crypto winter is basically a big drop down to wherever that bottom's going to be. So let's say 60K. It'll move sideways around 60K for a while. Eventually it'll climb a little bit, climb a little bit, and then you'll have years where it just goes crazy up, sort of like what we've experienced in the last year and a half. You probably I don't think there's not too many assets that would have made you more than Bitcoin over the last couple of years. So just something to keep in mind. All right. What is Bitcoin expected? All right. Let's see. Trump made disparaging remarks about nuclear during his first term. Yeah, but Trump makes disparaging remarks against a lot of things. I know he's trying to push things back to oil, but the amount of energy that's needed, and the fact that even they're even looking outside of the United States when it comes to nuclear power. So I don't think he's going to be able to stop the nuclear wave. But I will certainly look at that. I'll certainly bring that up when I do the nuclear video. But I'm excited about that one. I am definitely excited. I don't know when that one's coming out, but probably before the end of the year. All right. Let's see. Larry says, I gave up betting against the Chinese market. Did well against Baba, though. Bought more coal and shorted ex-US steel because Trump said during the campaign he'd cancel Nippon from Japan buying it. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, Trump, there's a lot of, like, his tariff ideas. I don't think they're good. I don't think it's a good plan. But, hopefully, even if he does bring them in, I think after a while, it'll probably dawn on him that it's not a great idea. And, I think he'll back down if it's not working and come up with something different, hopefully. But keep in mind, there are some companies that will get exemptions. Like take Apple. Apple will probably get an exemption. So some of their foreign stuff that they're bringing in for their phones and that are probably not going to get tariffed. I imagine Tesla will probably get an exemption. I imagine. I don't know for sure, but I'm just thinking maybe. All right. Let's see. Thanks. Maybe 48, I was thinking. Oh, as your bottom? It may wick down to that, but keep in mind, we're sort of thinking from that 70,000 zone where we're at now. You're going to be thinking from a 120,000 zone. So, that's a lot to run down. All right. Janie, I don't think I've ever seen you before, but welcome to the chat. So is the DJT run up done? It's yeah, I don't know if I can. Let me just see here if we can pull that up. All right. DGT. Here we go. Donald Trump media. All right, here we go. Let's pull it up here. So it obviously had a nice run here today, 5.94%. And you can sort of see at one point it made it up to $45. So it had a big pump. But here's the thing. This one is always going to be very volatile. Will it come back up again? It depends on the hysteria. There's a chance. I personally won't bet on it. It's way too volatile and way too unpredictable. That's one of those things I don't like when it comes to, I like to have at least an educated guess on where an asset is going to go. Now, this is one that, would have been nice to play yesterday, but I will say, I honestly went into the election yesterday. I didn't think Trump was going to win. I honestly thought it was going to be Harris. So I had plans, of course, both of them, but because I thought it was Harris, I wasn't taking some risks. I would have, if I had thought that Donald was going to win, I would have sunk a bit more into Bitcoin yesterday for sure. But I called that. For me, I completely miscalled that election. But I think I'm going to blame the media. I'll blame the media. The media really, really made it look like it was a sure thing. That's for sure. But I will admit, when he won the first term against Hillary, that took me by surprise as well. So, What can I say? What can I say? The only thing I can say is he's never going to do it again because, you only get the 2 terms. Well, unless the rules get changed, but well, that'll. I imagine even if he were to change the rules, he'll be way too old to run again anyway. So, and I don't think anyone's going to change those rules. Those rules have been in place for a very long time. So, so DJT, I would just be very careful with it. It's a type of thing. This is what I would say. If you're putting money in it, be prepared to be able to lose that money. So, I would call that a play money stock. Maybe it goes up again. Depending on the news cycle, because this is going to very much, as we get, like, for example, when Donald gets inaugurated, what is that, January 20th that he signs in or gets anointed or whatever we call it. I'm a Canadian, forgive me. I'll call it, get anointed. Like the Queen is there, sword over both shoulders. But no, whenever that happens, you'll probably see a surge in the Trump media and technology group. And plus, he's going to have a platform through his second presidency, and that might bring attention to it. So, it'll be it's playable. I just won't play it personally. Anyway, that was my ramble on that one. All right, everybody. I think we're there. Unless, of course, you guys have. Oh, here we go. Here's another question. All right, we'll go through this first. So far, Atlas Intel has been most accurate pollster. They pretty much had all the races called perfectly. Yeah. Well, it's kind of an interesting thing because I would see polls that were predicting one thing and other polls that were predicting the other thing. And now university, I did biology and chemistry. It was a double major, but one of the courses I took was biostatistics. We really sort of looked at how you could manipulate data. It's so easy to. So obviously, right media, manipulated it. Left media manipulated it, and it seems now after the fact that left media probably manipulated it more than right media did. Maybe. I don't know. It really depends on who you ask. I've never really been big on the polls because, it's really... It depends on the sample size. I mean, you need a really big sample size to get any kind of accuracy, but yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll get to do this all over again. Well, up here in Canada, we're going to get to do this maybe in the spring, as we have a potential election, provided we get a vote in non-confidence. But worst case scenario, we're looking at an election in the fall of next year. So Canada's up next. So we'll see what happens. Well, as it is right now, Pierre Poilievre, the leader of our Conservative Party. So for those of you who are American, because I know I got a fair number of American viewers, the Conservative Party is sort of like they're kind of like a light red Republican in the sense. They're our right-sided party. They're due to actually completely sweep everything when that election happens. So, anyway, it'll be very interesting. I definitely love seeing how this all turns out. JP says, "Oh, my major was biochemistry." Not too far. Like, I took biochemistry courses as part of my double major. I still have nightmares about silicon bonding in hair. I'm just like, no, I never want to think about that again. But yeah. It's one of these funny things. And here's the funny thing is, I actually wanted to take a triple major. They wouldn't let me. Because I wanted to do physics as well. But, what can I say? And now my life is pretty much finance. So, but I'll always have a very strong appreciation of science. And, well, yeah, I actually have a science channel. I just don't put anything on it. But a couple of years ago, I started a science channel, and then I was like, okay, this is good, but The problem is this channel dominates my time, so it was like, to do the science channel right would have pretty much taken away from this channel, and no, this channel is my priority. So definitely fantastic. All right, guys. I think we're at the end. I am going to wish you guys all a fantastic night. Let's hope this green party continues. We didn't get the super chats, so we're going to be back on Sunday. So Sunday, this week, it's going to be fantastic. We had, oh my God, we actually broke a record last one. We had more viewers than we've ever had before simultaneously. So yeah, definitely check in on Sunday. I think this is going to be absolutely crazy. I think it's going to be absolutely crazy. Until then, guys. Oh, Muggsy snuck in. Candace, would you buy Tesla in your TFSA or in a regular trading account? Also, would you purchase via Wealthsimple? Okay. Well, all right. Here's the thing with Tesla. Couple of options. So first of all, Tesla is being a U.S. stock. Now they don't have dividends, so for that simple reason, I would be okay holding it outside of a TFSA. It really depended. Now, if I have lots of room in my TFSA, well, yeah, I'll throw it in there anyway, just because. Why pay capital gains on things like that? Now, I would also, with the Tesla, I don't know if I would swing trade it per se. To me, I would probably just hold it, and because I think Tesla will be worth a lot in the future. So for me, it would be more or less be a great one to DCA on. So that's how I would look at it. Would I purchase via Wealthsimple? The thing with Wealthsimple is if you're purchasing it as a U.S. stock, you're going to pay that conversion fee. So there's all of those fees when it comes around to conversion. Unless, of course, in Wealthsimple you have the U.S. one. So yeah, looking at it from that perspective, I might hold it. I might hold it in National Bank as well, because National Bank, I have a U.S. account there as well, but I don't have quite as many fees. I can sort of let it stick there. But at the same time, and I guess this is me going back. This is like, you guys are like inside my mind right now. You can hold Tesla. So for example, where Tesla doesn't have dividends, you could hold it in your Canadian account in Wealthsimple. You would pay the currency conversion when you buy it, and then you would pay it when you sell it. But if you were going to hold it for a long time, you could do that. The only problem is if you're doing a DCA on it and you're constantly buying into it, you're paying little currency conversions on each of those buys. So that's just something to keep in mind. For that reason, I probably would still do it, because, when you're looking at some of the long-term gains, I don't know. I really hate the currency conversions. The other option is if you are doing it in National Bank, for example, or something like Questrade as well, you can use the Norbert Gambit, and that would be one way that you could transfer money over without paying your currency conversion thing. I mean, you're still paying the exchange rate, of course, because that's just the way money works. But so that would be another thing. All right. I feel like I just went off on a ramble again. All right. Thank you. Much appreciated. Enjoy your evening. All right. Absolutely. Okay, everybody. We're at the end. It's been another fantastic show. So thank you all for dropping by, and have a fantastic evening. We'll see you back here again on Sunday. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.